Hello, Farouk here. This is the second video in a series on developing JavaScript Azure functions. In this video, we will create an Azure function project using VS Code. An Azure function project serves the same organizational purpose as a .NET project in Visual Studio does. Azure function projects also represent the Azure function app. This means you can deploy the project to Azure from within VS Code. However, it is still better to use ARM templates for deployment purposes. In order to create function projects, we need to install the Azure Functions VS Code extension. The Azure Functions extension is a handy extension that makes working with Azure function apps easier. You can create, manage, and deploy functions using this extension. You can also perform local debugging of JavaScript functions, which is immensely useful. Installing the extension is easy. In VS Code, click the Extensions button and search for Azure Functions. Select Azure Functions, click Install. Now we can create an Azure function project. In VS Code, click the Azure button, then click the Create New Project button. VS Code will ask you for a folder to place the code files. Here I'm just selecting a temp folder. It's now going to ask you which language you want your function app to support. We're obviously going to choose JavaScript. Now it's going to ask you what type of function would you like to create. We're going to select skip for now, as we will create a function using a different method in the next video. And then finally, just select open in current window. And here you see the project has been created and we have several project files. Although you have no functions in this function app, we can still run it. Click the terminal menu and select New Terminal. Type func host start, then enter. And you see a bunch of output here. And the important output to look at is on this line where it says starting language worker process node. This means that the function runtime has loaded the node worker, so it is able to execute JavaScript functions. And so this also means that the Azure Functions runtime, the node worker process, uses node.js, which is why you needed to install node.js in the first place. We also see this warning about no job functions found. This is expected because this function app contains no functions at this point. We will create a function in the next video. Now let's have a look at some of the project files. Here is package.json. This file contains metadata information about the function app. Every function app should have this file in the root folder. Here is host.json. This file contains global configuration options that affect all functions for a function app. Here is local.settings.json. This file contains the function app settings. This file is only used when running locally and should not be checked into source control. This is a good place to add settings like connection strings. Function apps can also read settings from environment variables. So instead of using local.settings.json, you can set environment variables in launch.json. Now expand the VS Code folder. Here is tasks.json. When we ran func host start in the terminal window, the commands in this file are run. Normally you can leave this file alone. And here is launch.json. This file is used for local function debugging. You shouldn't have to alter this file except in the case where you want to add some environment variables. In the next video, we will create our first Azure function. Thanks for watching.